next to pumpkin pie, and nothing says Thanksgiving more than pecan pie. And in fact, I'd rather have pecan pie than pumpkin pie. But if you're a pumpkin pie fan, make sure you check out my pumpkin pie for two video right up there. This small batch pecan pie has all the flavor of a full-size pecan pie. It's a sweet pecan filling atop a shortbread crust. And the best part of it is, it's just the perfect amount for two people, and you are not tempted to eat the entire pie. Join me in the kitchen as we make small batch recipes with big taste. So next to pumpkin pie, what says Thanksgiving more than a pecan pie? And personally, I would take a pecan pie any day over a pumpkin pie. But if you love a pumpkin pie, make sure you click up here for my pumpkin pie for two recipe. So this pecan pie for two has all the same flavors of your classic full-size pecan pie, just in smaller size. We're going to use two 5-inch pie tins to make our two individual pecan pies. Now, we are going to make our pecan pie with a shortbread crust because I prefer shortbread crust and I think it's easier than a pastry crust. But if you love a pastry crust, go ahead and use a pastry crust instead. Click up here for my perfect pie crust recipe. Okay, we are going to start. Shortbread, of course, is like basically a combination of a butter and a sugar. And so I have a half of a cup of softened butter in here. Just use the back of my spoon to kind of smash it up. Then we are going to add in a cup and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I always have to check my numbers with my trusty assistant over here. We've got 1, 2, and if you wanted to make, if you don't have two 5-inch pie tins, I'm going to link to them down below, but you could use a bigger, smaller pie tin, but it's not going to be enough to fill, obviously, a full-size pie tin. Then we're going to add in some powdered sugar. This is going to make that nice texture to the shortbread crust, and we are adding in 4.5 tablespoons of powdered sugar. 2, 3, my house is smelling so good, just like Thanksgiving. And 4, and again, this pie you could totally make ahead. It'll keep great. I keep it in the refrigerator though, because it does have egg in it. You want to keep it in the refrigerator, but make it a day or so ahead of time and it will be delicious on Thanksgiving Day. Now we are going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and about 3/4 teaspoon, you know me, I just added in, of vanilla. Okay, then we're going to mix this together, and you're probably going to have to use your hands to kind of get this to come together, and we're ready to put it into our pie tins. All right, it's all mixed up. All my dry ingredients are gone, and we're just going to take it and divide it between our two pie tins, half in one and half in the other, and then just press it into the pie tin along the bottom and the sides. All right, they are done. We are going to pop them into a 350-degree oven for about 8 minutes just to bake them a bit so that they just begin to start to turn golden brown. We're going to bake it again with the filling in, so don't over bake it here. While our shortbread crust is baking, we're going to go ahead and mix up our pecan pie filling. And for that, we are going to use 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. Now I am using light corn syrup. You could use dark corn syrup if you want. It'll just give your pecan pie a little bit richer, deeper flavor. The corn syrup is really important in the pie because it prevents all your sugar from crystallizing, and it gives that pecan pie that nice gooey texture that it has. All right, then we're going to also add in some granulated sugar, and I have 1/3 cup of sugar here. Like that. We're going to add in 1 egg. We're going to I think it calls for, I got to double check. My trusty assistant isn't here today, so I'm figuring this out on my own. A pinch of salt and about a 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, there we go. Then, of course, we're going to put in some pecans. Now, I'm just using straight pecans out of the bag. If you want to toast them for some deeper flavor, you can totally do that. You can do it in a 350-degree oven for about 6 minutes. Just watch them so they don't burn. Or you can do it in a frying pan on the stove top. You can also chop them up if you want, but I like putting them in just whole. So we are going to pull out our shortbread crust now. We don't have to let them cool. And we'll fill them back up and back into the oven. So, like I said, the shortbread crusts, you're just going to bake them until they just kind of start to set. It's almost like a par baking. The middle may poof up as a bake. That's okay. When you pull them out, they're going to sink back down in. And then we're just going to take our filling and try to eyeball it as close as you can. Half in one and half in the other. And try to make sure you get as many pecans in both of them as you can, because it has a tendency for the gooey stuff to kind of come out first. So make sure you're getting eyeballing an even amount of pecans. All right, there we go. All right, then these are ready to go back into our 350-degree oven, and we are going to put them back in there for about 25 to 30 minutes. All right, our pecan pie for two is done. It smells amazing. We're gonna let it cool, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Now you can eat it while it's still warm. It'll be nice and ooey and gooey, but if you want it set up a little bit more, let it cool. Any leftovers should be kept in the refrigerator though, because of the egg in it. Now, be sure and check out my Thanksgiving for two video over here and all my other small batch size dessert recipes. And we'll see you in the next video.